going to be the last vlog in Vlogmas-ish 2022. I just want to start out by saying I did not think that we would film as much as we did this month, that I would get as many uploads that I did, so that feels wonderful. Thank you for just coming along with me and going with the flow. From my camera breaking, 3 minutes into day one, and then no one has ever said one thing about me filming on this phone, which I really appreciate, to me not vlogging every day. Thanks. I just really appreciate it. And also for you really being fine with the cozy, chill, really non-festive content. And the feedback has been, which has been for the last few years, ever since I just kind of like gave up trying to be super festive. I guess also, in the last few years when we weren't doing many things festive, the feedback from you has just been like, thanks. It's cozy, it's comforting, you've kept me company. And that's how YouTube has been for me so much. It has kept me company for so many years, whether it's you, marathoners, and our discussions and our chats and our interactions, or other videos that I myself watch. There's so much comfort, and that's it's such a gift, I find. Well, our community is a gift. I could like weep with how much you help me and we help each other, and our bond in the Facebook group or in the comments here, or when we send voice notes to one another on Instagram or whatever it is. Maybe one day we'll get to do another meetup or a masterclass or something. But this month has been really chill and really special, and I'm grateful. At the end of Vlogmas last year, I said to my family, like, I will not do Vlogmas ever again. It's so stressful. It's so time consuming. You think like, if you're seeing a 20-minute video, I've probably filmed twice that much. And then, it's editing it down. It's trying to have like some sort of cohesion, and then uploading and thumbnails, all the things. And this year I just was like, I'm not going to do it. And then I thought, well, let's just see. Maybe I'll post one video or two videos. And here we are. I don't know how many we did. Maybe 10? Maybe that's generous. I don't know how many we did, but we did quite a few. And I'm grateful for you for hanging out. I hope that this content has made your December a little cozier or less lonely, or just given you some distraction like this hair on my forehead is doing to me right now. Oof. Do we predict by next Christmas she'll just be all gray? Maybe. We'll see what happens. There will be a switch at some point. You're going to see my handle change from redhead mare to something else. Or maybe I'll just always be a redhead at heart, even once I have gray hair. I guess that is probably it, right?
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Man. So in today's video, oh, my ice maker. It's cool. It's cool. Today I wanted to talk about some goals, how I set a goal for the year, or just how I sort of prepare myself for the year, and how I reflect on the year that just passed. Like I spoke about in the last video, if you have just one takeaway from this month, celebrate those invisible wins, whether you write them down or you just self-high-five in the moment, which we have been doing for 6 years here on the channel, or whatever it is. The big things, I find, at least in my opinion, you can't really just set a goal of like for me, for example, I want to be a therapist. Great. But then it's so many little goals and projects and plans and milestones that we have to hit before we become a therapist, So it was like bite-sized little things that seem doable, whether it's How do you become a therapist? What do I need for qualifications? Okay, those are the qualifications. How do I get those qualifications? What schools? What are those programs? Like breaking it down into like the most bite-sized, manageable, doable things. Because if you're like me, I like to feel productive. And so it's nice to be able to check things off the list as well. If you have something that you're working towards and you have something that you want to achieve, that, in my experience, has been the way to do it. Break it down, break it down, break it down. And when you think you haven't broken it down enough, or you think you have broken it down enough, break it down, break it down, break it down. That's how I've achieved everything. Everything I have, like writing the book, to doing the morning show, to leaving the morning show, to starting my business, to going back to school, to finding the unicorn, to raising Thomas, to taking care of my health, everything, the most doable things. One of the questions I got this month was, do I still use a vision board? Absolutely. For some reason, I like to do my vision board August, September. Even when I wasn't in school, that's just always been my time. So you don't have to do it January 1. Just like you could watch this video in May, who cares? But I do use a vision board, and I did one this, summer, fall. And again, my advice for that would be, you can search my channel. I've talked about vision boards and shown mine in the past, and they work, but they only work if you're super specific. So you can't just put like love. What does love mean to you? How will you know when you've achieved that? Or success or money. Like, what's money to you? Money to you may not mean money to me, or money to me may be just like your baseline and you're looking for much more. Like, I write in that Mel Robbins High Five Habit journal every single time, specifically what I want my salary to be as a therapist per year, dollar amount. Not just therapist or money. Like, and the more specific you get, I believe you're sending a message to the universe, to whomever you're manifesting to whatever you believe in, that that's what you want. And I always say the caveat, this or better, this or more, because we also live in a place in which we want to have a mindset of abundance, right? This or something better, this or something better, this or something more. So if you're about to, start fresh for a new year, I know a lot of people don't like setting goals at the beginning of the year. They, are like allergic to the term resolution, which I don't like that either. Just do what works for you. A vision board, or set a goal, whatever it's going to be for you. And you can set that goal today when you're watching this video. Is it December? Is it May? Is it the future? Well, it's obviously the future. Thanks, Tips. And what's cool, so I'll tell you something that I did this year that I hadn't really done before. I have a friend who I have mentioned before, and we are workout buddies, even though we both work out in our own basements. Every day we send each other a screenshot of the workout that we did, and it's evolved into other goals and other goal setting. And something that she and I super organically started doing was sending each other our goals for the month. And then at the end of the month, touching base with one another and talking about like what worked, what didn't. And some things came out of this which were super cool. For me, sometimes a goal that I had that month, like it got repeated month to month to month until I actually did it. Like one was go through all of Thomas's stuff, like toys, games, and just purge it. And it was on my list, I think, from summer, and I did it this month. Yeah, I did it this month. That's fine. But it was very specific. It wasn't just like clean. It was purge Thomas's stuff, So I got much kinder to myself about not achieving something in a month and having to postpone it to the next month. Who cares? Who cares? And And then another thing that happened earlier this year, one of my goals was to meditate every day. And I was tracking, like, meditated, check. Got my water in, check. That was another thing. Did a workout every day, check. Then after a few months, I was like, oh, I actually don't need to track these things anymore because they've just become habits. They're no longer goals of mine because I just instinctively do them. And that feels incredible. And it's also given me a lot of encouragement for some of the things that I would love to become habits next year, so that I don't have to track them anymore. It's like, oh, wait a second. I work out every day without even thinking about it. I don't need to like write it in my journal and check or my planner. But I did, and that worked for me until now. It's just like, I don't need to. That felt really good. So that is something I did this summer. Was I had a planner, and every day I would write, like the things I wanted to do, and I would check them off. And it was the same thing every day. The water, the meditation, the workout. It's so funny. One could be like, make your bed, if that's something that you don't do that you want to add as a habit. One thing that's a goal for me, which I was doing, I am still doing, but is like a real goal for me once we're back. I have 2 trips coming up. This ice maker is on a real tear this morning. Once I'm back from being away and I have more control over like my meals, one of my goals is the 50-50 plate. So half veg on the plate and then the other half not. And the unicorn, I'm sure if he's watching, is laughing because he's like, all you do is eat vegetables. But that would be something that I would tick off, maybe even breakfast, lunch, and dinner, until I no longer have to do it anymore. So whatever yours is, maybe it's stretch. Maybe it's, I don't know, do a devotional. Maybe it's like read a chapter of a book if you want to read more, or 5 pages. That could be a start. Like, I'm going to read 5 pages a day. And then suddenly it's like, oh shoot, I've been reading 10 pages or whatever. Whatever it is for you. I've talked about this a ton, so I don't want to, continue to go over it in previous videos, but it just works so well for me, is really like looking at different aspects of my life and then thinking, what do I want for this? What do I want for that? And an exercise when I was writing my book, Finding Your Cape, was I went back to old journals, and I was really scared to, because it was very dark times and like, it was rough. And I was terrified to read. But what I read was literally manifesting exactly what my life looks like right now, almost to a T. Like pretty much every single thing that I wanted back in 2014, 2015, when things were so hard and bleak and scary, and I was just crying every day, and oh my God, it was just trauma and terrifying all the time, is like, here I am. So the stuff really works. The more specific you can get, like mine was like, I want to walk into my house and I want to feel it calm. I want my space to be chill. So you see that, like, there's not a lot of stuff out. The walls went from being bright orange to being gray. Whatever works for you. So there's that. And then the other piece that I wanted to mention today was, a few years ago, you and myself, the marathoners, we decided, instead of making like a zillion and 6 resolutions, that we would pick a word for the year. And I've had some comments from some of you saying you're already thinking about what your word's going to be for 2023. So I would love if you wanted to share with us down in the comments, or if not, you can always DM me on Instagram or put it in the Facebook group or wherever, or just keep it to yourself. That's fine too. What your word of the year is going to be. And hopefully it's something that like can encompass different facets of your life, but maybe it's one thing that you really want to focus on. And I'll give you an example. Like a few years ago, my word was health, but it wasn't just like mental health. It was physical health, it was mental health, it was spiritual health, it was friendship health, work health, all that things. This year, my word was pause. And it was transformative. I've never rested so much. I've never paused so much to think, why am I behaving in this way? I realized so much of my life was on autopilot, from how I react to what I eat, to when I eat, to my interactions with people, my mental health, old stuff that would come up. So much I was like autopilot, or I was numbing, or I was just like not paying attention at all and just couldn't pause, or I was being so amenable and so agreeable to people that I would like find myself in situations where I was like, I don't even want to be here, or like, why am I even having this conversation? Why do I even have a relationship with this person? Like just going along with stuff to really make other people happy. And I read a quote a couple of months ago that I'm pretty sure I put in the marathoner group, and I'm pretty sure I posted it to my Instagram, that was like, spent so much time making sure other people were comfortable and happy just to realize I never was. Yeah, like a moment of silence for that. So that became like okay, let's check ourselves. Yeah. So pause was really good for me. Really good. Pause, like, what do I actually want here? What am I actually feeling? Because I have a lot of old feelings that come up, that I have to be like, we're no longer in that stressful environment. This is old stuff. Let's pause. How are we reacting? All the things. So freaking helpful. So that was my word for this year. And I think my word for 2023, I think is going to be good. And I haven't journaled about it or meditated about it, but I think it came to me in a meditation. And I think what it's going to mean to me is a few things, like I am good enough. I am good. Like a lot of my things for 2023 will be not feeling like an imposter going into the field of social work. Like, I'm good. I know I'm good at this. I can learn to be good at this. I do have a background personally. Like, I am good enough. That. Also, does this make me feel good? What I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm consuming, whether it's social media, food, TV, whatever. Do I just feel good talking to these people? Do I feel good? What would feel good right now? Mel Robbins had this podcast recently that said, like, how could this be easy when you're in a stressful situation, like say the holidays? Like, what would make this easy? And it kind of made me feel like, what would make this good? And I hope that will help me. Like, what would make it good? Well, I could just not be so in my head about it. I could control the controllables and accept stuff. Acceptance was one of my words previously, so much so that I got it tattooed. And I talk about it almost daily to myself. Like traveling, like, well, I don't have any way to control if my flight's going to get canceled. Just got to accept it. What would make this good? Keeping a, level head and a positive attitude and like looking at the bigger picture. So I think good is going to be my word for 2023. Not in like a toxic positivity way. Everything has to be good, but just like, what would make this good right now? Would it be resting? Would it be pausing? Would it be accepting this? Would it be standing up for myself, walking away? Like, what would make something good right now? So I've decided that's my word for 2023. What's your word if you like to set a word? If you've never done it, just try it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing changes? Okay. But maybe it will. Or maybe it'll solidify stuff for you. Who knows? You don't have to journal 50 pages a day. You could literally talk to yourself about it when you're in the shower or in the car, or write 1 page, or get a journal with prompts like I've been talking about this month, that one that I really like, the high 5 habit one. Like, whatever works. Or while you're cleaning off your car or getting gas, or set up set an alarm on your phone so every day at 8 p.m. it has your word, or every day at 8 a.m. it just has your word, or like throughout the day. Like, I've done that before. I hope this was helpful. I'd love to know. And also, like, if your goal for the next couple weeks or 2023 is to just like continue, great. That is freaking commendable. I think it's going to take a while for us collectively to come back to a state of like homeostasis. You know, we have to remember that 2022 started and we were all still super heightened from 21 and 20. Like, give yourself a break, give yourself some credit, make these goals in March or August or whatever, or just as you go, like month to month, like I do. Also, you can make goals and then you're like, these don't really feel good anymore. Delete. Who cares? Scratch them off your list. None of this is precious. You are, your life is, and I love you, and I want you to take care of yourself, but that looks different to everyone, and that looks different for all of us month to month, week to week, year to year, no matter what phase we're in. Right now, I'm in a phase in which I'm doing my bachelor's. 6 months, I won't be anymore. Then what? Then 2024 comes, and she'll be applying for master's programs. Then what? Okay? I just want you to be kind to yourself. And for me, being kind to myself is setting these kinds of goals and like not settling. That's how I look at it. Not settling for stuff that doesn't make me feel good or light me up or get me to where I want to go. And it's been pretty magical for me. Anyway, I'm going to end here. So thanks for watching this month, this year. I know I've posted more videos in the last like 4 weeks than I did in the entirety of 2022. Not making any promises for 2023. I do promise I'll be on Instagram if you want to talk, if you want to see stuff. The Facebook group. But you know what? We're all just doing our best. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And I really appreciate you. I really do. For all that we support one another, and for you watching this video, and maybe this is your only one you've ever watched of me, and I appreciate that too. So have a very safe rest of your year. Take care of yourself. Do whatever that looks like. And I will see you in 2023. Sounds like some Jetson stuff. Remember, you can do anything for 10 minutes. No is a full sentence. My sister just taught me that this week. No is a full sentence. Let me know what your word is going to be for next year. Maybe your word's no. Maybe you say yes to too many things and too many people. No. Maybe your word's yes. I don't know. All right. Life's not a sprint. It's a marathon. I love you. And remember to do you, for you, what feels good for you. I already miss you. I'm already going to miss not filming. But I'll be back very soon. Take care. Bye.